So normally to write an instruction in our language to give it to anybody, say for example, we'll go to our previous example in my previous chapter. X is a user and Y is a housemate. So we write some instruction, normally something like this. We write to housemate and subject, normally subject will be like buy vegetable and instructions. So we write all these things, minimum things to housemate Y, this user or owner. So like this. So this is a general example. In a English language, we write this information to housemate. What task needs to be done from the housemate. So we write instructions, something like this, maybe step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and we write all these steps needs to be executed by housemate to buy a vegetable. Okay, so the same way we write as a user X, we write instruction to the machine Y or CPU Y. We write this is to the machine Y, and this subject or maybe the project, we call it project here in the C context. The project will be like, we take one basic example of addition and we write instructions. So this is normally to subject and instructions we write for a human like Y, housemate. But for the machine, to write it in C language, we have a template. We call it template. We need to follow this template to give it to the CPU Y. So we start with hash. It looks something like, it looks very crypto language initially, but once you repeat this experiment, then you will get to know why we needed this kind of information. So this is the start of the line, include stdio dot h. Okay, then we say main. Okay, then start and end. Here we say scanf %d ampersand a. We understand each line detailedly, more detailed way. Okay, so here the include stdio.h means this is a standard IO. The standard IO is keyboard and mouse. IO means input output. The input is keyboard and output is monitor. This we need to include in almost all the instruction set, all the template. Standard IO, standard input IO, input output, and we need to start with main. That means this is the main function, or we say the main lines of the code of the instruction that we write it for any particular project. So here in this case is addition. So this is the basic structure, the main function, we call it a function here. This is the main function. Here we have a scanf. Scanf means read from the keyboard. This scanf means read from the keyboard. Percentage D means where to store the input from the keyboard. Say for example, we enter in the keyboard something like 5 or 4 information from the keyboard. So that will be read to the the information from the keyboard, and printf means display on the monitor. So this guy will display the say whatever read scanned from the keyboard to A, and that printed will be printed on the monitor using this printf. Thank you. Okay, so this is one example of addition, the project addition. So the project will look like this. We deep dive into this project and we understand each and every line, every character in this project. Okay, in this way we try to understand how to write program in a C language. Okay, this is the standard example of addition. So I wrote it in very basic way so that it's easy to understand for the beginners. Okay. Okay, first we understand the first line, the line number 1. Okay, so here slash star addition star slash. So this means, so whatever we write, we enclosed between these two, these slash star and star backslash, whatever we write, this will be ignored by the compiler. So by the compiler, this is like a comment. This we treat it as a comment. This is a comment. Okay, so this is comment, and this line is ignored completely by the compiler. This will not be converted into the CPU instruction. Okay, then we have a hash include stdio.h. This is a standard input output library will be included. This is a very mandatory line for the keyboard read and for the monitor display, keyboard input and monitor display. So this guy will do standard IO. This will include a library, that a built-in library for the standard IO. IO means input output. For example, keyboard and monitor will be included so that keyboard and monitor can be used in our program. So this is the mandatory things. This is the function. Okay, this is the function, the main function. This is very basic. This is a mandatory requirement for the C program. This is the starting of the flower bracket, start of the flower bracket here, and end the flower bracket once you complete the project. Okay, here we have a int abc. That means we have a integer So integer means it's like normal integers in the maths. That means we can have three integers here, a, b, c. This guy can hold integer values, the range, the limit of the integers, what value it can hold, that everything we discuss later. So just for example, this is a natural integers. So this guy will include a, b, c, three variables. Okay, three variables, integers, and these are variables. Okay, and here we have added scanf here. Scanf means read from the monitor, read from the keyboard. So read from the keyboard. Two variables for the integer. Percentage I means integers, and read it into the a. This will be read into the a variable, and this can be read into the b variable. Variables means it can hold the integers in this a and b variables. So that means a and b will be allocated with memory of the computer. So a will be allocated with integer variables memory, and b is also integer variables memory. So for now, just understand that a and b can hold two integers that read from the keyboard. Okay, whatever you enter, say for example you entered 5 and 6 in the keyboard, those 5 and 6 will be stored into a and b. Okay, then a and b will be added using this operator. A plus b means a and b both can be added, and store the values. Say for example you entered 5 and 6 here, so 5 will be stored in a, here a, and 6. So same 5 and 6 will be used here and will be stored, added 5 and 6, 11 will be stored in variable c. Okay, then the printf. So this will be onto the display or monitor. Into the display or monitor, the c will be, c means the 11 will be displayed into the monitor using a printf onto the display as a variable integer. As an integer, it will be stored into the display, and end of the braces means this is end of project. End of project. So in this way, this is a very basic example of a program that you can write for the addition, where two variables will be read from the keyboard, stored into a and b, and a and b will be added into and stored into c, and c will be displayed on the monitor. Thank you.